morning and welcome to JTInTheRaw show 36. You can see right here we are at LA and there is the convention center where IHRSA is going, and there are so many people there. So many people. Morning Eugene, morning H. How are you this morning, H, all the way from France? Hey, I'm just going to turn this around because... yeah, morning Beck, how are you? You're up early. Hi Alyssa. Hey, thanks guys for tuning in today to JTInTheRaw show 36. I'm going to be telling you a few things about IHRSA and what I've learnt so far. I need to probably take that out back. Morning Rumi. Benny, how you going? Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I've got 9 things that I've picked up straight off the bat from this conference. Just thought I'd share them with you. It's a bit echoey in here because there's no floor, it's just floorboards. But we are right across the road from the convention centre. It's closer than any hotel. It is awesome. Okay, number 1 tip. Anyone out there in the fitness business, here it comes. Well, these are in no particular order, but here it comes. Number 1, booking appointments off your website for Gainesville Health and Fitness Centre has led to a 100% show ratio. Boom! Let me say that again. Booking appointments. So in other words, the consumer has the choice of when they want to come. There's a calendar there. They book straight in on the website. 100% show ratio. Wow, that's an insight. Number 2, in business there are 2 types of owners, or well, probably lots, but in this instance there are 2 types of owners. The first one is the arrogant business owner. And the arrogant business owner knows everything. They just know shit. They probably tell people they know everything too, but they know stuff, which means they never prototype. They're never out there trying to see if it works or whether it doesn't work. They just roll it out and go boom. Ooh, Rebecca Flint's tuned in. I think, hi Rebecca, is this your first time on? She says at Fitness Box in Sydney, they do that as well. It works really well, just appointment for bookings. Great, awesome insight. Thank you for sharing that, Beck. Okay, so first owner is somebody who knows everything, so they don't try anything. Whereas you've got the more humble owner, and the more humble owner, they want to learn and they're open to learning, and so they always prototype first. Always prototype first. So this is a really interesting scenario when we're trying to innovate in our business and come up with something new to do, something exciting, some new project, some new program we're going to roll out. And the first thing is you need to evaluate yourself and decide whether you are that humble or that arrogant owner. And then second of all is we need to come up with the idea. Morning, Susan. And that idea leads into what we call a rifle shot. So we have a rifle shot. So rifle shot is a small, tiny bullet that we fire off to try to hit the target. So it's low resources, low cost of money, and it doesn't have a lot of impact on the business because we're just having a rifle shot. And then we evaluate it. We change our angle, we change what we need to do to make sure that we can hit the target. We might fire another rifle shot, we evaluate, and we rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until we're happy with the final product. And then we fire the cannonball, the high resource, the expensive, the one that will have the big impact on the business, but we know that cannonball is going to hit the target. It's a great analogy. It comes from Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. Check it out. Really powerful analogy. We in business must look at failure as a positive. We must look at failure to understand why something didn't work and then evaluate it. Really powerful. It was a really, really cool idea. Tip number 3. Hey, Stokesy, Jeff Stokes, how are you? Are you across there at the convention centre? Okay, number 3, website tip. At least once a month, clear your browser and clear your cache and then reevaluate your website. Go back and look at your website through the journey that the member would go through and see if you have got any friction points, any bits that don't make sense. But because you're always on your website, or probably looking at your website, it always works for you. So clear your browser, clear your cache and just go on there. Or as Leanne told me last night from New Zealand, she said, go incognito on your website. Okay, tip number 4. This comes from the keynote speaker yesterday, and he gave the story of a CEO. And that CEO on Saturday used to go to a cafe. Every Saturday he would go to a cafe and he'd do some strategic thinking because he knew he'd unplug. So he knew he wouldn't get phone calls, emails would be negligible, and he could just sit in the cafe, work in the cafe, work on his ideas, work on his strategy. At the end of that 2-hour period where he's strategizing and growing the business, I was thinking when I was seeing this story, what a great idea, that's a ripper. At the end of the 2 hours, he then sends out emails to his staff to say, okay, these are some of the decisions that I've made and this is where we're moving, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When they went back and they asked the staff how they felt about this, they hated it. They felt guilty because he emailed them on a Saturday and they weren't replying. They felt taken advantage of in a way because they weren't working and yet he was, and so they felt pressure that they needed to work. And the third thing they felt was, this is a Saturday, this is a day with my family, how dare you intrude? So, we've got to look at the big picture. Like from the snapshot, we go, great concept, take it wider, and then we go, wow, this is influencing other people, not in the way that I would have liked. Great tip. Okay, number 5. Again, this came from Seth Madison yesterday in the keynote, and he said this: take a digital moment that one of your clients or customers would share on Facebook or on Instagram and then turn it into an analog moment. Boom, what an idea. So what he gave was 2 examples of salespeople. One salesperson who friends their new client on Facebook and one salesperson who does not. Or one salesperson who friends a prospect on Facebook or LinkedIn and one who does not. And I get where he's coming from with this, and I can see there's going to be people watching right now going, no way, there's no freaking way I'm doing that. But here's the concept. If you're friends with your prospects or you're friends with your new clients on Facebook, you can see when their kid gets an award at school, or you can see if they've won something or they've had this unbelievable experience on the weekend at a party or an adventure park or something like that. You can then handwrite them a little note, send it to them. Worst case, send them an email and say, hey, saw this. Hey, really enjoyed it. Hope you're having, congratulations on your kid winning this prize. I love the concept. Love the concept. I'm just not sure how it would work, but I think it's worth us opening up our mind and really exploring how can we turn digital experiences that we see every single day on Facebook and turn that into an analog moment. Okay, number six. What do you do when you first meet somebody? I mean, this conference is packed full of networking. Yesterday, Chantal from the Fitness Business Summit, she's walked in with about 50 business cards. She's working her little butt off. Morning, Pete Crawford. How you going back there in Oz? So networking is really powerful, but when you meet somebody in a networking event, and if there are personal trainers here, or there are club owners, or there are salespeople online today watching, what is the first question you generally ask, maybe after how are you, that you ask when you first meet somebody? What do you do? Morning, Kristen. What do you do? What's the point of that question? There's no cut through. Guilty as charged, by the way. And so what Madison was saying yesterday, he said, you need to start your conversations with a more intentional question. What a great word. What a great description for questions. Intentional. So what is the intention of us having this? And what he said is this. Use this question when you first meet somebody. Use this question. What do you like doing when you're not working? What do you like doing when you're not working? So we had to role play that. And so I'm thinking, what do I like doing when I'm not working? I like hanging out with Zoe, doing stuff with her, and I like training. That's kind of the stuff I like doing, or watching TV. They're the top 3 things: family stuff, watching TV, or going to the gym. And he said the answer to that question, you're going to learn more about the person standing in front of you at that networking event by asking, what do you like doing when you're not working, than asking, what do you do for work? And when you understand that, there's an intentional question there, what do you like doing when you're not working? That helps you then be able to build your conversation because you've already now identified 1, 2, or 3, maybe more, of this person's internal values, things that are important to them, and that's going to help you be able to talk to them, prospect to them, sell to them, even just communicate with them. Great tip, Seth. Thanks for that. Loved it. Okay. If you like that one, I've got a couple of love hearts on that, so thanks for love hearting on that one if you think that was a good tip. Okay, number 7. I think most of us know this, and I guess it's kind of, what would you say, common sense, but it's not always common, and that's this. Every day we have a choice. Every day we have a choice how we show up to go to work. Every day we have a choice on how we show up to go to work. Be intentional on how you show up. And here's the reason. Because your staff will follow your behaviour. Interesting one, isn't it? Be intentional on how you show up for work because your staff will follow your behaviour. And in many instances, so will your customers. Okay, number 8. Start every day this. Hey, Matty Wright Fitness. Great workout the other morning. Loved it. Speed play. Have a great session. You're on this afternoon, I think. Have a great session here at IHRSA 2017. Start every day the same. Start with a ritual and make it become a ritual so much so it then becomes a habit. And that's the way you start your day. What Madison said, which I thought was really cool, I loved it. He does a 15-minute gratitude meditation. I really loved it, and I'm going to give that a crack when I get back on it. That's Industry Leaders Roundtable guys who are watching. That is my big personal hairy ass goal to do. That is it. I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes through gratitude, starting on Monday. What the hell? I'm going to start tomorrow morning, right before I do my presentation. I'm going to start right tomorrow. Okay, number 9. This I've already kind of felt as a bit of a, Matty Fletcher, thank you, morning rituals rule, yes. Well, I'm learning that too, morning tomorrow. Okay, number 9. I guess one of the themes that I've already picked up here over 5 sessions, I guess, is the power of questions. And when we ask questions to people, whether we're meeting them for the first time, whether in a prospecting situation, a networking situation, or even some of you guys that are watching, consider this, your Tinder dating expert, your tip on dating is that we need to ask more questions. And what it shows, when we ask questions, it shows 3 things. 1, it shows we're more present. Because when we ask the questions and we ask follow-up questions, it shows the person that we're standing in front of them that we're listening to what they're saying. And in the world that we live in now, so many people are not present in a conversation. They fire off a first question and then they just drift off with their mind somewhere else. By asking probing questions following, it shows that we are present in that conversation. Number 2, asking questions help us learn more about the person opposite us. Helps us learn more. So if we're going to be then trying to sell to them or keep them as a customer, if we ask more questions, we know more about them, it enables us to then keep them longer and maybe build some more loyalty. Number 3, the point of questions is that it makes us more likeable. Simple as that. Yes, some would say it helps build rapport, but I like the word that Jeb Blunt uses, which is likeable. Makes us more likeable. So here's a little hint for everybody. This is a takeaway that I got, is ask more power probing questions. Love it. How good's that? What else? Okay. Here we go. This morning I went to the MyZone breakfast, learned some cool stuff about MyZone that's coming out. I don't even know why I'm telling you this because no one from MyZone is friends with me. Emmett, hint, hint. Laura might be, but you're not. Okay, here's an idea. When you come to these conventions, and I know in Australia, the fitness industry, we've got Filex coming up in April, but everybody who's watching who works in business goes to conferences. And we tend to walk away with a long list of ideas collected. So it's not the number of ideas that are collected after a convention like this. It's the number of ideas that you implement. It's the number of ideas that you implement. So instead of having a list of 50, have a list of 10 and implement 10. And then look at the dollar return on those ideas. Remember, we want to fire rifle shots before we fire those cannonballs. Hey, it's been a great week so far. I mean, we've only been here a couple of days. If you're following me on Facebook, Chantel and I from the Fitness Business Podcast have been doing some workouts around clubs, which is pretty cool. I've got to tell you a quick story. Yesterday we were in a smoothie bar, and I was with Chantal, and this guy looks at her funny, didn't say anything, and we kept talking. He looks at her a second time and then comes over and says, "Excuse me," in a Canadian accent, "Excuse me, are you the girl that's on the Fitness Business Podcast? Because I recognise your voice." Boom! You should have seen Chantel. She grew about 3 inches, realising that we had international market share, which we kind of knew already, but she felt really proud, and she's done an amazing job while she's been here networking and connecting with people. Today she was just on the My Zone podcast that they recorded. Okay, so it's been pretty good. We've still got a few more days to go. I'm going to be blogging some of my learnings over the next week. You'll see that on the Active Management website. Shout out to Alicia. Thanks, Alicia, for doing redesigning our website. If you haven't checked out our website, check out activemgmt.com.au. It's looking brand new. Oh, what's Alyssa said here? So true. Yeah, good, great, thanks. Okay, quote of the week to finish. Before I go, don't tune out. Here's the quote of the week. Question deeply. Understand why we question deeply. Question deeply. Understand why we question deeply. Thanks for tuning in to JT in the Raw, show 36. Next week, I am back in Sydney for Friday, so you're going to catch us there. We've got a few more gyms to work out at over here, so you'll see that on our Facebook, on my Facebook feed. Next week, what I'll do is I'll give you a summary of the last few days of IHRSA as well. So have an awesome week wherever in the world you are. Have an awesome week. Thanks for tuning in to JT in the Raw, show 36. Catch you next week. Oh, by the way, if you got any value out of this, please tag people in the comments below. We want to send this one viral. I want to get as many people watching JT in the Raw as I possibly can. So please share it. I'll be very grateful for you, and I'll consider you when I'm doing my grateful meditation ritual in the mornings. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. The whitest gangster in the world, JT, tuning out. See ya.